Ooh.
Can I say like their in-game hands? Their fit?
Fit, like outfit. Oh my god.
I really like Deadlock's. I do wish she was better because especially her glove, like the way it's the robot arm. I would love to be playing her, but unfortunately she doesn't fit the meta at all. So
I think I like Neon's the most, just because I think she has this little pouch with an octopus on it, like a little octopus plushie, and it's just so cute. My original answer was going to be Reina, but I did cosplay as her once, and like it wasn't as cool as I thought it was. I felt like a baddie, sorry, but I think Neon, just with like the cute little accessories.
Okay, I definitely think Chamber has some fire drip, like that suit, you know, it's pretty cool, but I also really like his red gloves in game. The red gloves are so nice, like with the wash. Oh, like who doesn't want to look at that? Reina's hands are really cool too, or like body tattoo thing, right? Like at the top, and then it's like cool shorts and stuff. And her nails are really fun because I can't wear nails when I play. Who else is there? Oh, Neon's outfit's really cool because it's like super tri-colored and like the lightning sparks. Yours got a cool outfit too, I think, and Jet. I don't know, a lot of the characters in this game, like they all have the cool outfits.
Honestly, Harbor. Harbor is dripped out, low key. And like the more I play him, I'm like, wow, he has like some cool rings and like his jacket, and Harbor kills it.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember a lot of the agents' outfits at the moment. Neon is coming to the top of my head right now, but I want to say Neon or maybe Deadlock.
Phoenix, maybe Phoenix. You know, the pops his collar. He's pretty fly. I like him.
I love Raze's fit. I love KJ's fit. It's pretty cool. Maybe even Sova.
Okay, I love yours outfit actually. I think it's so cool that his jacket and like his shoes I think are sick. I like his color scheme a lot. I think the orange and blue is cool, so I don't know, where it fits kind of awesome.
I might say Killjoy. I think I really dig, I like, you know, the Killjoy glasses and stuff and everything. I like the way she looks. Yellow, my favorite color.
Reina's fit and Fades, I feel like you could just see me wearing those IRL, like just walking around. Those are so fire.
Phoenix is pretty damn cool, and so is Jet. I feel like just his outfit and everything about him, he has so much swag. Like if you met him in person.
I think Yoru's fit is pretty nice. Honestly, it's very much me. I would wear that.
It's the battle for top 3, and with a spot at the World Championship on the line, we have Evil Geniuses versus Complexity on deck. And Bach, holy cow, these teams have fought hard. Let's start with Evil Geniuses. They have been making that lower bracket run since the first round. What is it gonna take for these girls to get the champs?
It's gonna take them playing exactly like they did last night. When you sat down with Thea in the post-match interview and you talked about how they were playing, yeah, I mean, she's a sweetheart. Everyone loves Thea. How they were playing, how everyone was doing their job. There was never any doubt in anyone's mind that pieces A, B, C, and D, and E were all going to do the right thing. That's how a good team plays. Honestly, we talked about it coming into the V1 match. That's how V1 usually plays. Everyone has a job, and everyone does it well. That's what EG did great last night. The issue that EG has had is just doing that all the time. It feels like they maybe struggle a little bit with consistency. This is a big point in their run through Game Changers. They need to win this to make it into Sao Paulo.
Yeah, and you know they've been building up over the last few Game Changers. Obviously, since EG joined Game Changers last year, they've made a number of different roster changes, and they've got a few new interesting additions. And now this is their highest placement. So they've had a lot of like 5th and 6th, and I think there was always so much hype going into the Game Changers until. You know, and then there wasn't. They kind of fell off a bit, and one of those teams that have eliminated them in the past was Complexity. So I'm sure they want that revenge, but they're obviously looking better than ever with at least a guaranteed top 4 here.
And with those changes that EG are making, an important one to talk about is the change of in-game leadership on this team, Heather.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, it's a player that I know very well for our time on Dignitas. I think I've known Thea since she was, oh gosh, 15 years old. And she's been learning from some of the best in the business. And now she takes over those reins as the team's IGL. And it's doing incredibly well for them so far.
Fuck, I can just imagine, like, you know, how nice Thea was. And she's like the leader. She's like, we're doing great. You know, you're being down like 0-12. Guys, we can do it. It's just the power of friendship.
It's funny for Heather and I because we've both known Thea for a very long time. And, like, seeing her go from more of a casual player to a serious player to now a leader, in our minds, we still just see her as little Thea. And, like, she's really the leader. You know, she is definitely taking the reins and driving this team towards success, and you could see it in the results that they were able to put up last night.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that the attitude she has too, the positivity that she has, like, you know, it keeps the team's heads you know, above, and they're always they're not beating themselves up really when they're down and out. So Thea's always there to, like, kind of keep your spirits up.
And that's exactly what she said in the interview, like, wins, losses, whatever, she's happy and proud of her team. And that's the type of leader that you need on really anywhere at any time. But Heather, going back to what you said too, the fact that these teams have met so many times before and have been cutting each other down during important moments, important tournaments. It's a deja vu from that lower bracket match from GC2.
It is, yeah. So they've played off in a number of these different events. Obviously, with EG taking all the wins in kind of these, like, non-game changers events, Paradox Invitational, Astral Clash. But, I mean, I think everyone would agree that the priority is obviously on the game changers events, and that's where Complexity has come out on top. I think in the last series, they sent EG to the lower bracket, and then Complexity came down there and finished the job off. And so, obviously, EG is going to want revenge here, and they're going to need it both teams need it if they want any chance at the World Championship.
That was really a big moment, too, for Complexity. That was when that team went from being Complexity is also here to being a team that is like, okay, Complexity is here. They're a serious threat. They ended up getting second in that Game Changers event, and they put a stamp in North America with their position sitting towards the top. That's why they're in a spot right now where they don't necessarily have to win to qualify. They basically just have to do better than Shopify Rebellion and hope that V1 wins. It's a weird situation, but there's multiple win case scenarios for both Complexity and Shopify Rebellion, and it's largely for Complexity based on their performance last time in Game Changers 2 when they made that run into second place. The team's been looking good.
Oh, it's some stiff competition in the lower bracket. I could not pick a team to go forward, but going up against EG is Complexity, the juggernauts of Game Changers, the grand finalists of GC2, and they want to return there once again. But Bach, it's not going to be easy, but at least when I just talked to Mel from version 1, she's cheering on her old teammate Jazzy to make the final.
I think a lot of people forget about that too, that Jazzy at one point in time was on one of the best teams in North America, a team that was touted as best in the world, although the results in Berlin kind of tainted that image of that Cloud9 roster. When they made changes, Jazzy was the one who was sitting on the sidelines like, guys, you forgot about me. She ended up on this Complexity team, and it had to be a little bit painful at first, just given how successful V1 was immediately. Like, there was no hold period from Cloud9 to V1. So it definitely probably stung a bit. It's cool to see this team come together now and find success, and especially when you've got players like Lace, who have been on this roster since, like, day one. Lace has been there since the start, trying to make this team work, and now it's finally clicking.
And Heather, Complexity also on that crazy lower bracket run of the century since the first round, but this is going to be the toughest challenge for Complexity yet.
Yeah, I think, well, first off, even dropping to the lower bracket in round 1 was a bit unexpected. I think when we saw they were playing against Wingman Patrol, obviously, like, a lot of that core was exit, so it kind of makes sense when you look at it. But, like, you know, they've been battling it out in the lower bracket, and they're on this run. But you know, I think hopefully they don't get ahead of themselves here, because, like you said, kind of in a way, sights are set on Shopify, as in they need to top Shopify to get at the World Championship. But to even get there, they need to get past an EG that's looking as hot as ever right now.
And Bach, this team is looking on fire, and you're looking at the veterans of both of these rosters to have a big step forward, to really propel their team to success, and potentially for the last time this season. So tell me about Thea and Lace.
I'm just going to say it again because it's going to break my brain and make me and Heather feel very old. Thea is a veteran. That is something that stings to admit. But it is incredible to see her journey as a player and now rising towards the top of the scene now in a leadership position with this EG team too. But Lace has been something special the last two events. GC2, we came in with a lot of question marks around this Complexity roster. We weren't really sure what was going on, how it was going to work out. And Lace somehow always managed to stay in the team. They saw the promise in her. They knew that she had so much skill just waiting to be on Earth. And in GC2, we finally saw it. We saw her rise to the occasion. They get second place, and then they come into this event as well. And the performance continues for Lace.
Yeah, and I think one of those big changes was passing off that IGL role to Jazzy, so that Lace could focus on the fragging, and she's been doing incredibly well. On the other side, obviously Thea's stats are a little lower, but that's because she has so much star power around her, and she's just really focusing on that IGL role, kind of reeling in the team, preventing them from overheating as much as they used to in the past.
Yeah, don't want to overheat. You want to stay cool, especially for these maps coming up. Our picks and bans have been submitted. The winner of this series, top 3, one step closer to the finals. First pick, Evil Geniuses picking Ascent, then Complexity, Lotus, and our decider will be Haven. Bach, do you have any initial reaction to this?
I mean, I love the fact that we're going to get Lotus. I'm a huge Lotus fan, and it's no surprise that Complexity picked it. We talked about it last night. Coming into last night, I believe they were 8-2 on Lotus going back to GC2. It is certainly a map that they are very comfortable playing. The Ascent pick, maybe not so much. They've played it, but not so much more recently. The Haven pick is a really good one, though, for EG. It does feel like if we make it to map 3, EG has a little bit of a decent advantage only because we've seen them play it a little bit more. It's not to say that Complexity doesn't like the map. It's just more so that what we've seen from EG is success recently, whereas Complexity, they've only played it once during this event, during the main event. You know, you go back to GC2, they played it a bunch, but we haven't seen it in a bit.
Yeah, this does feel like potentially a 3-map pool, so I'm certainly excited there.
Now going into Agent Select, our game is almost ready. Heather, do you think, is there a favorite here? Like the viewers, where are they putting their channel points? Complexity, EG, or is this really gonna be like a game 3 close match?
This map feels like one of the toss-up maps, I think. So, you know, they're a big momentum team. We know that. I think a lot of these players are on LAN together, which, like, you take that into account. They're rallying each other. They're getting upset. But when your teammate gets mad and they slam the desk, they're frustrated. So, like, all of these extra things are going to play into this. And I think this map is a toss-up.
And we have our mirror match agents. I'm excited to get into this. We got a new set of casters. So let's hear from Wyatt and Mimi for game 1.
Thanks very much to the desk. Yes, Wyatt, this is a massive one. Complexity has been on a great lower bracket run thus far, but right now they are 2 games away from locking up a spot at Game Changers Championship. Winning here means that their chances of going to Brazil stay alive, and for EG, their run, their miracle that they would need to win the entire tournament and make it there too, would also end here.
Right now, we're witnessing EG on the deepest run that they have had all year in any Game Changer stage. And it was in stage 2, the last one. They were knocked out by Complexity, so right now, seeking a bit of revenge.
Ascent, where we start on this one. Favored ground for both these teams, but we've seen great stuff from EG on this map. A decimation against Wingman Patrol at the last showing, and that's been led in big part by Kinsey, who's going to start out on the jet and attack.
We talk about it all the time with Ascent, but this really is a map that's been fully figured out. Rarely do you see compositions outside of the norm that we've got right now. All of these agents so effective here is fast up mid-REG, but shut down by Carr. So good with the Ghost, all headshots.
A great crossfire there. Seems like some preparation against an EG who does tend to like those fast cat splits. Love the start for Complexity. They're up 3 members, and EG at this point just going to try and find in routes.
Something I've certainly mentioned before, but when Kara is in those positions, just waiting for players to enter her crosshairs, she's so fantastic with the tap aim.
Holding the angle on the extremity is Raze. Lots of information as to where these EG players could be. And with that spot coming out, we'll buy some rotations back over to this A site.
Massive task here for Lori and Starbound, the 2 new additions to this EG roster since Stage 2.
Could be the change they need to, well, change the history of this one. The team, of course, that knocked EG out on previously another good run that they were having in that second Game Changers tournament. They will group up now in A main and attempt to make this execute happen. Raze, with that paranoia, will slow things down for quite a moment. Support is inbound, but Starbound has found one of her own. Shouldn't be long for this one, though, as Kara comes in, cleans up the final 4. A fantastic start for the KO.
Fantastic opening from Kara, love that. Seriously, one of the underrated players in this scene, in my opinion. Always excellent supporting, playing those initiator roles. But when you get the opportunity to shine with the aim, when she gets that opportunity, she'll always step up.
She's so good in those situations. And for this Complexity squad, oftentimes one of those players that gets left behind. There's a lot of stars on this team, and it really does mean the world for them, honestly, to have a chance to go to that international tournament. They've been the leaders, really, of kind of this like second generation of GC teams now in the 3rd year that we're having this competition, that have risen up, that have taken wins over the like of Shopify, have pushed version 1. They are, if anything, probably the best chance to have some variety in representation for North America.
And talent akin to that on the EG side as well. Keensey right now, the numbers being put up are outrageous. The top duelist stats, the top stats across the board right now in the main event. Keensey holds all of them. Starbound as well, the new addition to this team, has never been on an unsigned, or rather has only been on unsigned teams, never on a team the caliber of EG, and stepping up massively.
And again, it's something big from Keensey. It's just the pistols in this round, but EG's already made work out of things. That's 2 falling. The anchors of this B site, now with the spike planted, this gets very dangerous for Complexity.
A round that should be easily won, potentially slipping out of their grasp. The only thing working in their favor right now is that EG's positioning a bit poor. All of the players gathered up in sight. No one able to play in B main.
That's great info for Kara. No one is in main. Jazzy will assure that fact. Flash is still available, but there's lots of utility to buy time for this EG camp. What's the go symbol? Is it that paranoia? Out it goes. Kara swings forward, Guardian in hand, and Laverton trying to hit a shot. Lori takes down another in the meantime, and there's too many targets to find. Keensey grabs her teammate, and Thea is there to clean up. A tragedy for Complexity.
A round they should realistically never be losing. Somehow Keensey gets the opening, dashing in. Was that a classic right click to find that first kill on B?
Just off of paranoia.
That is mad.
Unreal stuff out of this EG squad, and it's what we were just talking about. The talent on these players. We've seen some of them before. Lori, Thea, they've been on big rosters. They have that history. But everyone else really only has a history of being a free agent, of being that up-and-comer. This is the first real opportunity a lot of these players have had to be on a big tier 1 roster that can compete with the likes of Cole.
We'll see if EG now can stay composed against Complexity with that eco. A couple marshals in hand, hoping to do the reversal and eco EG right back.
Keensey again, going to be the tip of the spear on this one. Trying to bait out for any aggression on this lesser buy for Complexity, but nothing is coming thus far. We'll see a bit of a walk-up, though, for Jazzykins. Wants an opportunity with that Marshall in mid. CG will look to re-clear, but the shot not quite landing. Power pick Cell instead gets the opener.
Taking things nice and slow, are EG, waiting out any potential aggression, little set plays from Complexity. That's something we know is a layer in their playbook. We see Jazzy like to call for aggressive 3-player pushes off a flash, little set pieces like that on the defensive side.
And you'll see that a lot for Raze. They love poking at these extremities, getting really far forward to get information like this on A. That does mean that They're oftentimes put in these situations where they're locked out completely alone on a site. And you can see EG very rehearsed in this execute. It was a nice supportive smoke to try and keep Raze in it, but not enough for anything more than that. Spike will be planted. It's a great situation here for EG.
Complexity looking to deal what damage they can. Good setup here from Evil Geniuses. That door unbroken. Heaven the only thing to focus on.
Turret for a first bit of contact, but no one's swinging. 2 from Hill, and Starbound on an off angle as well. He's there to punish Lace, though. Getting a lot of value. That's 3 kills already off her Marshall. How much more can she do, though? They're doubled up in Hell, and Lori ducks under the bullets and keeps EG in control of this one off their Thrifty.
Cleaned up by Lori, the new addition to this EG roster. One of the 2 changes I mentioned previously made heading into GC3 here. Of course, bringing along with her all of the experience gained from that long tenure with Shopify. And Shopify, in fact, one of the teams that EG pushed to their absolute limit here on a site. It was an OT game. It's a testament to how strong they are here.
And she's already got the Hunter's Fury online. Has been a star for her squad at the start of this game, but Cole will have the money back and a chance to make good on the mistakes of that second round.
Early drone up mid just to clear things out. We'll see if they try and take down the alarm bot, but Lace is just spamming away with the Odin.
Look at
Ever
Kara.
common play.
On the other extremity, Complexity is pushing and pulling every which way. They get a spam on one side, and immediately there's a push on the other. I was just talking about how aggressive Raze will be with A main control. We see how punishing that can be for Evil Geniuses.
Now EG, they've got some time to work with. They're going to slow things down and hope for perhaps some kind of over-push, a way to get back into this round. It's going to be a peek from Keensea. Lace just going to back off, re-drone for the information. That tag as well. Spam is going to come through. Double but no kill.
Dart available here, as EG will try and flood onto the site. They have time to get this one done, and it is a solo land for Claudia. What can she do? 1 kill already, Spikes on the ground, and Claudia will clean things up wonderfully. Complexity, right reply.
Things opened up on that round by Lace, who is simply a master of all agents throughout this tournament, playing Flash Initiators, Sova, Cypher, Omen, and doesn't give a damn which agent she's playing. She's gonna top frag on it as well. Her stats are always out of control. She is one of the most talented players active in the scene right now.
Operator up yet again for Jazzykins. We haven't seen her come into the fold of this game yet with a kill, but this is really reminiscent of her time on Cloud9. Many a times we've watched her with the op on this map provide so much value. It's going to be a big key for EG to suss out where that weapon is and deal with it.
You can see right now gathering the orb. I'm assuming they're going to try and get Starbound that ult. So much pressure towards A main. Starbound put their turret over towards B, rotate it over. They're going to have the Hunter's Fury and the lockdown for this hit.
Kara does have her ultimate as well. A well-timed null command here could be game-changing on the site exact. Raze here as well. The Paranoia primed, but no hit is coming.
They're going to opt to back off. Realistically, no map control here for EG, and as time dwindles, that'll be a hindrance on their effort to hit a site.
Lori might want to sell a bit of a fake here. She's already worked her way back into A main.
Yeah, we've got this re-clear now in mid, and it looks like EG are going to set up for an A split.
Op trained. Jazzykins ready on this one. Flashes primed around the corner. Will it catch on her? She hucks and dives back through the smoke, but cannot connect on the shot. So across goes Keensea. They're into the site. What does this Omen get done? Raze alone and taken down immediately up towards heaven. Kara will try and flood in and get a trade, but it's all for naught. She's down on the ground, and Jazzykins has no way to really help her here. Just an operator in hands, desperately wants to take the risk, find a timing, and maybe one exists. Lori's down, and she's going to try and be heroic. Taps on that resurrection, but the spam is good, and it's good trades thus far. Complexity working their way through. 2v3 now, and that timer has already spent a lot of time. Low health on Claudia as well, and a late reflank, a possibility from Starbound. It's a double setup towards Hell, and the spam will be the primer for Claudia to dive in. When does she take her chance? When does she take this risk? As all the information is in favor of EG, and constantly that time is ticking. That's a Starbound. Lurkin She's perfectly timed in it. 2 kills picked up. Starbound closes the round for Evil Geniuses.
Cole questioning what the right decision was there at the end, getting completely caught off by that late lurk and dropping all of the weaponry, and gonna have a low buy into this round now. But really what stood out to me is the pace shift from EG. Once they re-cleared mid, I loved how quickly they were able to get into that A site. You can see the setup for Keency, allowing them to just get so deep in. Raze had no idea that pressure could be coming from Generator that quickly.
And EG have a chance to snowball. Lockdown available. Lori with her ult still up as well. They're going to be able to build themselves a pretty good attack side here as long as they can convert fast. Into the B site goes Keency, and everyone is going to have to tuck tail and run. Claudia caught out in the open, but the shots going so wide. Keency whips out on every last blade and falls, but her teammates do capitalize off the space she created and claim the B site.
Hunter's Fury is going to come in, counter Hunter's Fury as well. We'll see Lace is able to get that pick onto Thea to create a decent retake situation, but traded out by Lori, and now waiting for that lockdown to come in. Time is going to be massively delayed here for Cole.
They have lots of util though. 2 flashes online, a knife, I think just around the corner, but EG have bought a lot of time for themselves to hold on. The reposition as well off that lockdown is massive. Tower Pixel. Critical position here in main. They will be noted in this spot, so can't activate the flash, but could still be a late backstab to close this one out. Lori takes down Lace. Kara is alone on that side, and Lori's just doing it all. 3 kills for her, and a 4th round for EG.
Fantastic post-plant setup. What it really comes down to is the cycling of those ultimates. Either able to gather them up from that previous round, didn't actually have to use them on the execute there, and now they're able to use them on this round that's breaking the Cole economy.
Great work investing these ultimates at very opportune moments for EG. It's a reply with that Hunter's Fury. It's a lockdown as well. All these layers to stall out that retake not only allows those repositions that are critical in the end, but also forces Complexity to invest so much utility so early.
Aggressive play down mid from Complexity, sorry. You could just see the car was gathered up for that, trying to go for some kind of flash, it looked like. Jazzy swinging from Cat as well. It's just going to be this cheeky position, though, with the Marshall holding down mid.
You don't see setups like this too often, but Complexity doesn't look like anyone is biting on their setup just yet.
EG content, just waiting things out. We saw this on the last stand. Taiko, they're taking it slow. They expect Cole to go for these plays. They're known for this.
You can see around the corner. One flash already over a second. Q up. There it is, and a connection is excellent. Keency takes down one, and they'll retreat, realizing that more players are still lurking in mid.
Reclearing the main now with the drones, setting up for this full execute.
Lacey, only a sheriff, and already having to fall away from that endeavor. Damage is good, but it's not enough to stop this push.
Claudia does have a lockdown in hand, but foolish, of course, to use it in a round like this. EG should be able to clean things up here nicely with the post plant setup. You can see Keency staying in B main.
Jazzy's already out so far, though. Has walked her way all the way up to lane and is getting to work on re-clearing in main. Keency holding the anti-flash, and no one is watching her. 3 kills, grabbed up. Keency looking unreal on this jet. Sure, it's just her eco frags, but you can't deny how good this player has been throughout this tournament. And maintaining that form in this ever-critical game will be massive as she closes it with a 4K.
There is a very clear, very evident reason that you're seeing in front of your eyes right now as to why Keency is the highest rated player in the tournament right now. His skill individually is just outrageous. The team as well, though, the credit has to be given to players like Power Pixel, longtime teammate of Keency. That duo, the ability to set up your star player from excellent supportive gameplay.
So important. Those 2 players really joining EG around the same time have been the duo for this squad for many a moon, but this tournament has really been the one where I think people have understood just how good they are. They're on course to make their deepest run ever. It's their first chance to qualify to an international tournament, and sure, they'd have to beat version 1. They'd have to go all the way to do that, but even breaking down these barriers, taking a win off a team like Complexity, getting that revenge from GC2 would show that growth for EG already.
This is quite an early timeout from Complexity, though of course Ascent is known as such a defender-sided map more often than not, so they don't want to let things totally slip away here.
5-2. Already EG putting a great half together. Even just a few more rounds could spell disaster here for Complexity. What will that adaptation be? Looks like they're going to be setting up pretty similarly. Maybe this time toying with the idea of B main aggression. Both initiators and their jet queued up there.
Now Lace is back to that Odin, going to be holding the line while Jazzy pushes up with the AWP. We've seen him be absolutely lethal with it in all of Stage 3.
They'll get Jazzy posted, and everyone rotates on over. They have to deal with a new threat now, which is this A pinch inbound, flash forward. That'll get Spaceborne towards the tree room, but no one's following it up just yet for EG.
Yeah, you could see that shock dart that was headed into tree was intended to break the KJ setup there if the mollies were on the ground. If they are not, all of that KJ utility is towards A main.
They don't see an alarm bot in mid either, so suspicious of a gap that they might have found. Power Pixel does get droned out, but it's away with their life.
All of this mid pressure is really nice, so the main issue, and this nice little decision from Jazzy, is to take an aggressive line in B main. And look at the minimap. It's allowed all of these Cold players to be ready for the A hit coming in.
It's coming swiftly. Lockdown will be primed up to keep these players at bay in an A main critical position being held by Raze. They'll teleport out, get to safety with the rest of their team as Jazzy starts to pinch in. Does she have the angle, the shot onto one of these EG players towards the catwalk? She finds a rough timing. She could be caught off guard here, but she's ready on the angle. Starbound, that's a big player to drop early, and you see the desperation for EG. They want more space. They do not have time, so they'll pivot fast to B.
I mean, I love this heads-up play from Teo. The spike is going to go down. Jazzy holding the angle in mid. Little jump spot for Power Pixel. Not going to go down to that. It's a matter of Keen C and Power Pixel getting back to this B site in time. You can see the Complexity troops marching all the way down from
Jazzy
side.
Here she goes again. Always ready on the right angle. Misses the shot this time, but has she bought enough time? Because here comes the troops for Complexity. The army is onward in towards his site, and Thea is taken down. That was a lone defender, and the round might just be over already. Claudia is holding this one down. Can anybody stop her? In comes Keency, and she's got it all. Spike was halved, and it's a 1 versus 1. Jet feed, Jazzy takes her, and there's plenty of time. What an incredible round from Keency, but it's not enough.
I'm stunned. Just an explosive ending out of nowhere. My god. I mean, again, bear witness to what Keency is capable of, but it is Jazzy, tried and true, one of the top duelists since day one of the scene to take things over the finish line in that 1v1.
I mean, it was just this one dash. If she dashes slightly less far out of the cover there, in every world, Keency wins that round.
Gathered up now for this fast A hit. Evil Geniuses. We'll see if they elect to do so. Just try and hit this immediately. They are going to run into this KJ setup if they do.
Keency dash in, but catches the edge of, I believe, her own teammates blind, so he'll be slowed for about a moment. Anchor smoke in, and Race just swinging through a smoke of her own, gets one, but the entry is excellent for EG. They have control of A, but Cole could set up for a flood retake here. 3 players already in position, but there's no easy inroad.
None whatsoever. Lace with the AWP as well is going to make things even more difficult.
Blades for Jazzy. But Keency hiding in the close corner. The Judge prime. Out goes the dash, and the Judge somehow not winning in that situation. So Complexity recovering control of this round, and Thea is so wounded. It might just come down to Starbound because her teammates have fallen around her. Can she get it done? 2 kills picked up. The spray is labored, and she's got to reload, but time working in her favor, and her opponent only holding on to an operator. Lace stabs. Starbound dances. That AWP on the other side, just not the weapon for the job, and she has done enough. The time strikes 0, and EG another round.
Beautiful play from Starbound, and even takes the operator away just at the very end. Lovely Red Bull clutch. The new player for EG, their deepest run with any team ever in Game Changers, stepping up massively.
Tough situation for Lace, but really every one of these EG members showing how good they are. Remember, this team only coming together after GC2 with these 2 newest additions. But their synergy, their calling, their decision-making already looking on point on Ascent here. The map that really I feel is the most the best demonstration of how fundamentally strong a squad is.
Absolutely. This is simply the bread and butter fundamental map of Valorant. Is this A hit is going to come in superior weaponry from the HG should be very easy to clean this up, despite a bit of a stack. Maybe I spoke too soon. The shorty always powerful in a position like that, tucked away in his smoke. Keenzy coming in for these trades, and somehow down to the 2-on-2. Just another lovely headshot. Akara with the sheriff in hand recovers a phantom. Reload coming in, Starbound, and another clutch situation. She is being tested deep in the tournament and comes up on top yet again.
Back to back for Starbound to save a round for Evil Geniuses. Hey, we're gonna execute right into the stack. Doesn't matter. Win the round anyway. All good.
I was ready to take the cast nice and slow in that one, maybe, but
these rounds have been ridiculous.
Other ideas. Yeah.
Great call by Complexity, but EG, I mean, even before the clutch from Starbound, just those shots coming out from Keenzy, absurd.
I am so stunned by what I'm seeing from Starbound. A player for the first time on a top-signed team like Evil Geniuses, and able to step up for them in those high-pressure situations like it's nothing?
It's so impressive. But on the other side, you've got one of the veterans of the game, Jazzykins. Yet to really make her mark on this match. She's had her operator up quite a few times, but haven't seen that moment just yet. And this might be a chance. She's posted deep in mid, lots of info for her team. Could cut off the rotation from this jet. Well, there's a lot of presence in A main with no dash. EG can't really commit to an exec there.
There's an early drone committed by the Evil Geniuses side towards A, and you can see that they've removed a decent amount of the
Jazzy
KJ
could be in trouble.
utility.
Is she ready for this one? Absolutely. Dash primed. Another shot. Can she take it in time? Not quite. So it's 1-for-1 in mid, and Kara is well in a tough spot, but she delivers. 1 kill. Flasher on the corner. Can't turn it. So Power Pixel has the trade.
Great flash. This recon is going to get valuable info for EG.
Starbound again.
What a shot. What is that?
They've just been unreal throughout this map. 3v2 now, and EG have yet another post plant, Wyatt.
EG are playing this attack side masterfully. Complexity usually so good on the defensive side, so adept at picking the right side.
And they're being made to look a fool, EG. Cut it down again. Lockdown gets invested. They want to make the flood happen, and EG decimates them.
I have witnessed time and time again in this tournament on the defensive side that Complexity, they are so good at reading the attacking side's finishing sight. They are often stacked up for it. And right now, EG are throwing them for a loop. It's a testament to how great this calling is.
Well, if you want to just kind of a clear vision of how this match is going, right now EG on the attack have 3 operators, and Complexity have well, they had a Bucky. Now they have 2 Stingers. I think that's a pretty clear example right there.
EG are gonna slow things down here. We've seen this on all of these anti-eco, or like sort of low buy rather rounds. Of course, it's not a full anti-eco, given it's the last round Kohler fully forced up, but EG know that there are so many layers to the defensive aggression in the Cole playbook.
They desperately wanted something out of that triple op setup, but now it'll be reset to a much more sensible double op setup, and it will be, at least it looked to be, a commitment towards speed. That's what Complexity thought, but they've invested both their ultimates, and look where EG is. They never even touched the site.
Doing a great job dragging out utility here. That early ultimate used. Cutting a little bit of noise, and it looks like they're gearing up here for a big re-hit. They still have a lot of utility online to do so.
Keenzy's up. This is where it might come into play. It's a contact between Sight and Claudia. Only a Stinger to hold that angle. One player on the site alone. It's Kara. And somehow, she's able to find 2 before falling. It's good work out of her, but maybe not enough to close this round. Another 3v3 post plant on B.
There's going to be a situation, though, where all of the EG players are in sight once again. Complexity not having to worry about B main is very significant.
They have good info off that drone, aware of the danger. Keenzy's up. The spam from Dia, another risk on top of that. Jazzykins, though, can do the same. Replies with a shot through the wall for 1. Stays even, and now the op into play. Keenzy in a 1 versus 1 against Jazzy. Can she get it done? Again! The shot connecting around the corner. Kinsey is unbelievable.
What Kinsey's been doing in this tournament is just out of this world. 17-9 to open up the attacking half. We often talk about Ascent being the Jets' playground, and this is a full display as to why that gets said so often.
But I always feel like we're talking about the defense side. When that happens, you're like, oh, a 20 kill, 5 death. Defense side, that's pretty good. But she's doing it on attack. 9-3. That's the score of EG. And it's going in to their defensive side, which, if anything, is even stronger.
Looks like they're geared up here for an offensive play on the defense on the A side. You could see that flash lineup from Power Pixels looking to come over the top with Kinsey swinging off of it.
Start from the attack, comes out. Flash over the top as well, but that's not the destination for Complexity. So they're working their way up. Catwalk, trying to make an A split out of this round. Alarm bot will give the first bit of information, and now this triple player setup gets activated. Kinsey, close corner, tested again, and she always passes. 2 kills, cannot get another though, as Kara trades out, but her teammates are still here on the site, and Power Pixel is excellent as an anchor. The spike laid down on the ground, left behind, and no one in a position to retrieve. Claudia locked out on the catwalk. Thea, the right corner. Does she have the right smoke in hand? It gets a little awkward, and now Claudia has opened up an opportunity. Spike recovered. And Starbound, for the moment, alone. A rotate comes over, and Power Pixel awaits towards hell. But Complexity are going to take their time.
Claudia's just going to try and slip her way out of there, bring the spike over to B. Complexity may be able to get this plant down, but the question is, can Lace get the hell out of wine? It doesn't seem likely. EG are aware of that positioning, but they're just going to give it up.
Claudia essentially playing a 1v3 right now. No world in which Lace can get her way over to this site anytime soon.
Alright, and now the spike is down. EG are going to have to make their way over to B. Can Lace do anything from this position? She needs to find a magnificent flank timing to win this round out.
But to buy the time to get that flank, it all comes down to Claudia and just her turret on the site. She's healthy, armor as well, a ghost in her hand, and an opportunity here. But EG would have to make a mistake, would have to give her an opportunity to let her back into this one. She spotted 2 players and isolated a shot already. Claudia, she has another head in hands, and Starbound is revealed on the site. Lace has the support from far, and now she's arriving as well, but Claudia is the one to possibly do it all. Not quite. Lace there at the final hour, and Complexity winning a pivotal pistol round.
What a fantastic decision from Claudia, slipping out of the A site with the spike. EG were totally aware that that was a possibility, and frankly, it is fine that they let her go. They are up 3v2. They knew the positioning of Lacey, but what it comes down to is the fantastic tap shots from Claudia. 1-on-3, cutting them off on the side. I mean, that is way too clean.
We can't keep doing excellent work out of Claudia. Has always been a talent for this squad. You just need a moment like that to remind you. To harken back, though, to the first half, Wyatt, Complexity did win the pistol round there, but it all went awry on the second. An eco round getting the better of them. They absolutely need to convert this one cleanly if they want to make a comeback happen.
Yeah, that is a grim reminder you have established that they only won 1 round past that. I didn't even remember that, and now you've got me feeling a bit more worried about the prospects of this.
But is there really worried to be had? This time there's no real stack to work in their favor. Complexity are into the site. They have an A post plant. This should be their opportunity to cement their opportunity here, really, in the second half.
This tournament, we have seen Complexity able to pull off comebacks. This, however, may be a totally different beast. On such a defense-sided map, they certainly have the talent to do so, but on EG's home pick as well, it is a tall, tall order.
Kinsey walking into the site. Can she find any sheriff shots here? Maybe a pick, something like that, deal some damage, pick up a weapon. This one difficult for Complexity. It's unlikely thus far. Revealed by Jazzy. and Complexity, some nice angles established here. G just wanting to die to the spike at this point. Maybe they can catch Jazzy on the way out, get a little bit more damage. But none of those dreams look like they're going to come through. 3 players from Cole survive, and they have a 5th round.
I'm excited to see here if Complexity have something cooked up on this bonus. It is one of the things that they excel at as a team. They have those little plays on the crucial little rounds like this, on the low buy rounds. They're going to find a way to make the most out of it.
Seems like the idea might be a faster play towards B. That's where everyone is posturing right now.
Right there to spot for the info. They're going to have to deal with that KJ setup if they do intend on hitting quickly.
As he's walking towards mid, part of the one to provide some support in that area of the map. The knife revealing, though, will slow the plans of Complexity for a moment, but now at dart up, it does seem like a B split could be on the cards. Jazzy's walked up close to this alarm button, has broken it, so will fall away, and now unlocks many an option for Cole in the mid-round.
This is a great opening for Complexity. They've done their due diligence removing those small information gathering utility pieces. You can see the turret gone from B, the alarm bot gone from mid, excuse me. Now with all this time on the clock, they can throw the defenders for a loop, try and drag them around to the false site.
Look at all the utility they've gotten rid of as well. That was the fragment as well as the paranoia off the board. So another chance here for Complexity as they group towards B.
Holding control of B main. Recon. And come through in that standard position, and the sighting sec is on.
Lori dart up. Can she reveal anything with it? Quincy swinging around just at the same time and shutting them down completely. Beautiful from EG. Flawless hold on the B side.
At the end of the day, they did just have the superior weaponry. I loved all the minutia of Cole's decision-making in that round. The ability to drag out the little utility pieces, but that will bear more fruit as they actually get onto a full buy.
10th round there, unlocked for EG. Complexity really going to have to show us a flawless half here to be able to bring this one back to a more reasonable situation. They'll again go back to this default, I think, really showing the prowess of Jazzy as an IGL when she plays on this jet, being both the tip of the spear and making those decisions in the mid-round.
There's going to be that early knife, and again, there's that flash with the swing from Quincy, but Complexity. Crosshairs trained on the angle, and that's a bit of a free opening for them early into this round.
And they didn't have to invest anything for that. They still have practically all their initiator utility, and crucially, Jazzy has her dash online, so harder exec into the late round, very much possible, but for now, they'll again do their due diligence and break down this KJ util.
They've left Rays deep in line there as well, if you notice, on the far right side of the minimap, so just controlling the necessary areas. B main, A main. The world is their oyster. They can exec where they choose. This drone is going into B. We're going to see if it actually ends up dragging any rotators. It doesn't. Look at Evil Geniuses. They're stacked up towards A. So now Lori being drawn off. A lot of pressure going to be applied to these remaining 2 players, both at Generator.
Uchi is aware of this one, and Thea, beautiful shot to take down one. Race does have that instantaneous trade. So now Thea in a lot of trouble, but look towards the other side. There was alert for Claudia, gone in an instant, starbound. So good, but Thea has to be a bit better. She'll hold on, drop the spike as well as Ray's around the corner, and that knife is active. It gets awkward now, because there's no HP, and there's limited chances for Lacey. She'll come around the corner, and she'll try and find that spike, but the time has just gone so far, and there's no chance of her winning this round. She would have to stick it now, have to get a fight, and she'll find one. But Starbound just runs for the hills and closes out EG's 11.
Evil Geniuses, solid defensive round in regard to their rotations there. They didn't get too baited when that drone came in on B. 2 of those players, you can see them. They stood their ground there at Generator. It was Theo doing a lovely job anchoring, just swinging at the appropriate times. Great defensive gameplay.
And that money is not looking good for Complexity. That could be map 1 over with. EG certainly in control of the second half momentum.
Quincy going to take an aggressive line here in B. Posturing up close on the left. Going to be feeling this lose complexity here. Decide to pop off in a situation like this. It is absolutely Keensy able to claim a triple.
Always delivering in those situations. 3 kills, more than you could ever ask for. And guess who else is here? Lori. Odin queued up in raids, taking down Claudia. Not a shot in hell at this one. It's map point for Evil Geniuses.
Keensy is simply ineffable, creating some kind of tier gap within the server, just appearing on an entirely different
24
level.
and 13 right now. That's absurd.
It is out of control. The entire complexity side running into B main, stopped by the immovable object.
Last chance for complexity. They might be picking up the pace. 5 players strong towards B main. These slower rounds haven't been working out, so try something new. In comes ultimate. No utility for Laura, but it doesn't matter because Jazzy just straight up winning the fight against her. She'll try and get some spam back through the smoke onto Starbound as well, but that is a sight for complexity.
Finally an opportunity to get a gun round on the board. That has been their struggle. They've won both pistol rounds, and that's made up 80% of the rounds they've got currently.
Unbelievable. Yet again from Casey. I don't know how they connect that adjustment, but will it matter in the end? Lockdown has bought quite a bit of time against this retake, and EG, they're in far-flung reaches of the map. Raze is holding on to the flank, and it's not a matter. EG has made the call, which is going to save.
Let's try and contain these core players as they attempt to escape the radius of that spike explosion. They're all going to be gathered up outside of B main. Some damage might be done here, but frankly, the stage of the game we're in, how relevant is that even going to be?
Well, it's relevant for Cold to lose those weapons, quite honestly. Especially if Lace falls as well. I mean, that could be a killing blow to their economy. I love the call from EG. Don't risk things. Hey, you've got 6 opportunities to close out. You just chip away at Cole's money. You're going to get your chance to win.
That's gotten EG, or rather some of the EG players, ever closer to their ultimates as well. And at the end of the day, we are playing Valorant. At any point, they can redeem their free round win where they all press the ultimate button to make this comeback come to an end.
Always the fear in the hearts of a team like Complexity trying to make this comeback happen. The fast speed hit worked. They're going to attempt to repeat that towards A. Not yet. It's a similar idea where they start 4 strong, don't commit the spike, send someone back to collect, and generally, they re-clear mid in this mid-round.
They've been happy to leave Raze over in Wine to retain A main control, and meanwhile, Claudia prodding around B, making sure no defensive players are getting too aggressive.
Cole work their way up catwalk. Killjoy is set up on the A site this time. That'll be Starbound, the one to anchor.
First exchange of the round. The Hunter's Fury is going to get popped off. Haphazard, really. No one able to capitalize off of that, and Execute not able to come through. No one was ready for that, but Complexity are going to adjust. They're going to go for this fast beat pivot, but look at how far the spike is away from them.
And look where EG has found themselves. 2 players dived immediately into the back lines of B. Duck and cover. It's all on them at this point. The rest of these players so late on the rotate, it doesn't matter because there's no smoke towards spawn, and no one is denying Starbound. That lurker's down as well, and Lori has been sitting here the whole time. She's ready on the angle, not missing with that Odin, and Lace is alone. 1v5, which surely should be impossible, and Keensy will secure it. Evil Geniuses, 13-6. Decimate Complexity on Ascent.
Only right for Keensy to close that one out on their map pick. Fantastic gameplay from them. Starbound as well, though. Starbound, the new player on this Evil Geniuses roster, picked up between Stage 2 and Stage 3 to propel them on what is currently their deepest run in a Game Changers all year. What an excellent upcoming player. On the Sentinel role, able to lock down areas of the map. The fragging is so good. Look at the anchoring there. It's those 2 players, some of the highest rated right now, and you're seeing exactly why.
Well, an excellent start for EG, showing why Ascent is their most favored map. They're up 1 in the series here, but we'll have to see if Complexity can reply. We head to Lotus, their choice in the series, after this.